You must be very excited. Only those who bear those beautiful red eyes are chosen.
Number 1. Luna Abyss just got itself a new trailer after months since its reveal, and this thing honestly just doesn't stop to amaze me with the showcases these developers are coming up with. Y'all remember the game Returnal from last year, the PlayStation 5 exclusive? Luna Abyss is like that in overall feel, but it's in first person and it's a horror mystery. Check it out. We now know this game is coming to PCs and the next generation of consoles only, probably by the end of the year.
Step into the drift. Let me share with you a fragment of my infinite knowledge.
This thing inside of you, it is the key to everything.
Coming up behind that, we have from earlier June last year, a game called Unawake. Work of the old publisher's Tablets production. This is in case you have missed out on a character customization based action RPG adventure, something in the same style of both the Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Probably what would happen if you'd mix both, but then hand them over to an indie developer to take care of it. Here's a trailer. This game's set to be coming out for PCs and due out by the end of the year.
Locations impacted indicated sectors down there.
Pacific Drive, on the other hand, announced a little less than a year ago as a running-based first-person driving survival game. I mean, technically it's how the game is described by these developers, with the main aim as a story to bring over scientific phenomenal stories from road trip adventures, mixing that with a somewhat stalker world. Pacific Drive is due out on the PlayStation 5 and PCs only sometime later this year.
Approach only at your own risk. Number 2. Do not attempt to contain or interact with the phenomena. Should you do so, immediately report your findings and follow appropriate decontamination procedures upon your return from the field. And number 3. Leave them where you found them.
Something very bad is happening!
My dad says the government is lying about everything.
Grey Hill Incident, on the other hand, announced roughly a year ago, is now finally coming over to PCs in both generation of consoles except Switch, of course, as is the case with most horror games. But this is not just a first-person or a survival horror, it's an alien and UFO abduction-based story that actually incorporates open-world elements to some extent. Check it out. We now know this game is coming out June 9. Available on PCs already, sitting on Steam with almost overwhelmingly positive scores. At number 5 we have Death in the Water 2, the sequel to the gore underwater hazard sim. It's an almost 5-hour in total game, a sort of wave-based like a strategy or a tower defense sim, but then a horror game, and as you can see in first person. Check it out. This game's about $20 right now in price and fairly delivers excitement where it lacks in length. Number 6 we have Glaciared. This is from a few months ago in case you missed it, an action adventure that takes place on this glacier-covered Earth about 65 million years into the future. Well, technically you play as some new species evolved from birds and get to live in a post-scientific apocalyptic Earth setting where you're basically just trying to survive. This game's said to be coming out for PCs only and due out by the end of the year. Moving on, we have Cocoon from roughly 6 months ago, what is described by Annapurna Interactive, the old veteran cinematic developers, and believe it or not, by one of Playdead's lead designers of games like Inside and Limbo, as a insectoid-driven top-down puzzle adventure, which is quite the catch for a description kind of a game. Here's a trailer. Cocoon's supposedly releasing later this year. It's coming to PCs, Switch, and Xbox consoles only. I've mentioned this one a few weeks ago last, but in case you didn't get a good glimpse of it, this was after an entire year of silence that we finally came across some gameplay trailer on Repo Man. It's a first-person open-world RPG just like Cyberpunk 2077, but with a dash of steampunk elements and fantasy, where you do play the role of a Repo Man. Here's a trailer. This game's set to be coming out for PCs only later on this year.
There's more.
The absurd, they believe that monks come to steal your soul.
Can't go there, Arthur. Not for my sake. The light would be the death of you. Soon, you will be blind no more.
At number 9, not a PlayStation 5 exclusive, but a next generation console exclusive. On the side, it's also coming to PCs as well. Touted as a puzzle platform adventure from earlier in the year, we have here something called After Us. After Us is about a future version of Earth where, right after the brink of human extinction, Gaia, Mother of Earth, has come to save the day by giving us a second chance. Here's the trailer. This game's now coming to PCs, like I said, in the next generation of consoles only, on May 23. Announced a week ago through IGN. Number 10 by 1010 Games and Funko themselves. We've got over here a brand new game called Funko Fusion, what was primarily rumored around October last year, where we just got a new trailer for it. Reconfirmation that the game is going to be released for PC, Switch, and all of the consoles sometime next year. Now, we don't really know much about this game either, other than the game's description, which reads an action-adventure AAA similar to LEGO games.
Every time a world falls, new trails emerge from the debris.
Awakened Realms and developers Questline just came out with the announcement that Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, a very well received Gothic-themed classic fantasy open world that came out almost 2 months ago, is now due for its finished product and out of its early access phase, releasing in about 2 months. They released a new trailer for it. If you're new here, this is a mix of Skyrim, Dark Souls, and Gothic, with just a little bit more potential, they said. Take a look.
There is no right or wrong in Avalon. There is only life or death, victory or failure. When making your own choices, you must not forget about one thing. Whatever you will decide, it is you who will face the consequences.
Number 12, as the first work of its indie developers from a few months ago, we've got over here probably one of the best mixes of 2023 or ever. Imagine what you'd get by mixing a That Game Company game, like for example Journey or Flower or Sky Children of Light, throw in a good dose of Shadow of Colossus and then some Zelda. That's precisely what you did with this game here, Chasing the Unseen. This game is set to be coming to PCs only sometime later this year. Number 13 from early last year. This is the second time it's actually getting a mention ever since we have a game called Neon Knights. This is a psychological noir game set in frozen Copenhagen, that's Denmark by the way, set in the year 2079. Games are story based in nature where you play the role of an exorcist but in a digital form. Just check it out. Game is currently in development for PCs only and set to come out mid to late 2023.
You're nothing more than data!
Kan du huske mig fra?
Elena.
Announced around December 2 years ago. Number 14 we have Silly Polly Beast, technically a top-down shooter inspired by alien shooters, about a rather fantasy gaming formula where a little girl's been subject to some kind of experiment and then thrown into a world filled to the brim with supernatural entities. Anyway, this game's a PC exclusive and due out by the end of the year. last but not least, from roughly 2 years ago, we have Skate Story. This is a cyberpunk style science fiction fantasy sports game, just a skate riding though, but an action RPG as well, as it's tagged. Quite a bit cute from virtual reality games, but made for PCs instead. Anyway, here's how it looks. All we know is the game's coming to PCs only sometime later this year.